Okay, you are live. I love when it says that. All right, so while we're getting situated here, I just want to pull up this live video on my phone so that I could see the comments. And I'm going to lower the lights here so I don't see my screen in my glasses. It's a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just checking on my phone here because if you don't register with StreamYard, and I think there's instructions right above this live feed, if you don't allow StreamYard access to your profile, I won't see your name, which is fine. You can do that if you want to, but if you don't want to, that's fine, because what I do is I set up my phone right here so that I could still see the comments. And who's commenting, like your names. So that's fine. All right. So, perfect. See, I didn't even see that right now. Blanca, hello. How are you? Blanca, let me just tell you while you're on. I have a message in my phone from you, and I haven't stopped yet this morning. So I'm getting to that message. I see that you sent me one. I just haven't read it yet. So I will definitely be getting to that later or tomorrow morning. I don't know. It's a lot because I'm making the coffee cake for tomorrow's gluten-free Zoom. So that just came out of the oven. I still got to clean up my mess and make dinner, but whatever. Anyway, hi, it's good to see you on here. So as you're jumping on, please say hello. Let me know that you're on here because it really does make it much nicer when I know that I'm talking to people. Blanca, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And Rhonda, hello. How are you doing? Who else is on here? All right. I have a delay on my phone, so that's fine. As they come in, I'll be able to see them. All right, so today's a big day. Today, I am going to be talking about how the hell I got started doing what I'm doing, how I came to figure out what MS really was and how to heal it, and then how I really got into working with other people doing it. So I also want to tell you it's a big day. It's a lot of talking, which I'm going into my 9th month of being pregnant. So I'm going to seem out of breath, but really I'm fine. I get out of breath from like drinking water and talking. So, yeah, it's just funny. So I'm also going to tell you how and why the body can heal. Because a lot of people say, well, I think I have permanent damage. I don't think I can be healed. And I tell them about the detours that the body can make and so why it can heal. So I'm going to be talking about that too. I'm also going to be talking about what you can start right away and how to use the free resources in this group. A lot of free resources in this group to get started moving the needle right away. The reason why I'm cramming all of this information in today and all month long is because once I deliver, I don't know how active I'm going to be in the group. This little guy could sleep. I don't know. Maybe, he's going to sleep right away. I don't know. I haven't done this in a really long time. My kids are 15 and 19. So the fact that I'm going to have a newborn again at 44 years old, I have no idea. Like, I feel like I'm too freaking old not to sleep. So that's why I'm cramming all of this information in for you now, which really works out well for you because, all right. So now that you know what we're going to go over today, I'm going to tell you just a couple of announcements because they just happened this week. I haven't even had time to really advertise them or tell you much about them. So I want to tell you here. Hello, everyone. My phone is on here we go. I was just going to say, I just have to lower the volume so you don't hear that. Oh, Maison and Silvana, Melissa, hello. Okay, now my phone caught up. Now I can see everybody. Melissa, May, Silvana, hello. How are you? Thanks for saying hi. I love knowing that I'm actually talking to people here. It just makes it more real. So, couple of announcements before we get started, and I'm going to go really deep into my story today. I've never gone this deep into this many details into my story because I wasn't sure if it was relevant or not. But more and more people are asking, and I find myself telling the story more often, and it makes a difference in understanding why I do what I do and how I came to do it. And it just makes for a much deeper connection. So I'm sharing the story today. Before I do get into that, there are a couple of announcements. While I am, and I'll do this again at the end, so don't worry if you miss something. While I'm on maternity leave, I have been wanting to work with Matt Rowe and incorporate his program into my program, my 4-month program. And we've been going back and forth with how to do that. Well, now there's a sense of urgency. I'm going to be really out of commission or like at least lower than usual this next month and probably the following month after I deliver. So what he has agreed to do is take over my group coaching. And for the next 8 weeks, he's going to be the coach in my group. And he's going to do his 8-week program in there. And he's doing it for a significantly less amount of money than normal. And he's doing that to help me out. So right now, if you were interested in doing Matt's program, but thought you couldn't afford it, he did announce that he already took $200 off, but you're going to get another, where's my math? You're going to save another $218. So it's going to be a total of $418 you save if you want to get in on the group coaching right now. The group coaching is going to have none of my nutrition stuff. My workshop and the next time I open up my enrollment is going to be May. So for the next 8 weeks, Matt is taking over my group coaching and he's going to run his 8-week program in there. So all you have to do is sign up for my Victorious Group Coaching Package. It's $177 a month. And all you need to do is sign up for really 2 months because that will cover the 8 weeks that Matt's going to be taking that over. So I'll send out more details. I'll email out more details. If you're thinking about it, you got to get in on it before Monday because his first class in my group coaching starts on Tuesday, which is the 8th, Tuesday the 8th. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. And also, tomorrow is the first baking demo that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be free all month long, every Thursday. And I'm starting out with my absolute favorite dessert that I bring to all the family gatherings. People ask for it, and most people don't know that it's gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, and it's freaking delicious. I just made one in preparation for tomorrow, so the house smells amazing. And it's all free. So again, I'm throwing all of this information into this group now because I kind of want it to hold you over while I'm quiet in March trying to get this kid to sleep. So go into the files section. There is a calendar. It's interactive. It will take you right to the Zoom link that you can use all month long. So in that calendar, you'll be able to see what dessert I'm making on what Thursday. So you can attend all 4 Thursdays, or you can attend just the one that you want to learn. So it's up to you. So there's a calendar in Facebook. The files tab. Okay, so Kara's on, Jennifer's on, Brian, hello, say hello. Thank you so much for saying hi. Quinn's on. All right, good. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get right into it. Broken to badass. I like to consider myself badass right now. I really do, because of where I came from. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about where I came from and how this all came to be, because here I am, you see in the group, you see this, you see the healthy version of me. You see the one who's helping other people get healthy. And you're like, wow, so many people are like, wow, I'm just not like that. I wasn't like this either. I was never like this. In fact, I was broken. I would consider broken most of my life. It wasn't until I was in a situation where it was really sink or swim. I had 2 little kids to take care of, so I did it. So my story begins back in 2004 when I was diagnosed with MS. I was more important than I really was. I thought I was more important than I really was. I was the director of purchasing for Jersey Mike's Subs. People in the States might be familiar with that. It's a local sub chain that we franchised all over the country. And I was the director of purchasing. I had worked my way up from receptionist all the way up to director of purchasing. And I thought I was the shit. And I was just too important and too busy to deal with this MS diagnosis. My right leg. Oh, hey, Tony, I see that you're on. And Angelica and Mary, hello. Hello, I always have a hard time finding the live sessions. Sorry. Yeah, no, I have a hard time getting on them. So don't worry. I'm glad you're here now. So there I was. I got an MS diagnosis because my right leg went numb. And I went to the chiropractor and he said, no, he goes, this should hurt. This doesn't hurt. And it didn't hurt. So he sent me to more and more tests, which ultimately led to an MS diagnosis. Well, I was too busy for that. There was no way that I was even going to deal with that. Hey, Patty. So I just kept getting worse. That was in 2004. 2005, I kept getting worse. And when I went to the doctor, he's like, Janine, you have got to get on the medication. I'm like, oh, I'm not giving myself shots every day. He's like, well, you have to, because if you get any worse, I can't help you. We have to start now. So I said, all right. And he goes, if you want any more children, though, you can't. I'm like, what do you mean? I only had my son. My son was 2 years old when I got diagnosed. I'm like, I want to have one more. He's like, well, you better hurry up and get pregnant. Well, when you're in your 20s, you can do that. You can hurry up and get pregnant. Not like when you're 44 and you have to go through IVF. So I did. I went home and I got pregnant. And I had Julie in 2006. Well, everybody knows that during pregnancy, your body really does take care of yourself when you're sick. I never felt better. So I thought, okay, great. This is perfect. And then I delivered. 3 months after I delivered was my scheduled follow-up with the neurologist. And so I went in, he's like, all right, you need the MRI, go get that done. When you get the MRI results, call me, make an appointment. We'll go over them. Great. Made the appointment for the MRI. And before they even called me to say that the results were ready, he called me. My neurologist called me on my freaking cell phone. He said, Janine, it's Dr. Ravel. How quickly can you get to my office? And I said, oh, I could be there tomorrow. Is that good? He goes, no, I don't think you understand. How quickly can you get in your car right now and drive to my office? I got the results from your MRI. Talk about being scared shitless. I called my husband, got in the car, drove right to his office. He's like, Janine, your immune system is attacking your optic nerve. And if it continues, you're going to go blind. And then there's nothing that I can do for you. So here I am with a 3.5-year-old, a newborn, and you have to go on your medication because you're eventually going to be blind. And it could happen within the next couple of days or hours. I don't know. So of course that scared the shit out of me. And I went right on the steroids, right? That was back in the day where a nurse came to your house, they put the IV thing in your hand, and every day for an hour, I hooked myself up to steroids. This big on the thing, I hooked it up, put it in me, and for an hour, I sat there with a steroid drip of prednisone into my body. That was horrendous. And then I started the shots within days of that, because it took a little while, probably a week of that. I did a week of steroids, and then I started the betaseron. The steroids, my God, anyone who's been on steroids, if you've been on steroids, please let me, it was absolutely awful. Sally, hi, how are you doing? I'm glad you're on. So at that point, I was taking the betaseron. It was an every other day shot for a year. And I was also taking 9 Motrin every single day. And I kept saying to him, I'm like, there's got to be an issue with taking 9 Motrin a day. He was like, Janine, how do you feel when you don't take it? I said, I can't move. I feel like the Tin Man. I feel it without oil. I feel like the air is molasses. I can't move. He goes, exactly. So you need to still be taking it. 9 Motrin every single day. It was 3, 3, and 3 a day. So here I am. It's a year later. I had just gotten back from, I forgot what trip, but I had to fly in. I drove home, and I remember this sense of something's wrong. Something's not right. I sat down. I said to my husband, I'm like, I just got to sit, my husband at the time. I said, I just got to sit down for a couple minutes. I don't feel right. I sat down. I watched something on the TV. I couldn't get up. I never got up. My arms and my legs went paralyzed. Both of them, all 4 of them, arms, legs, paralyzed, done. So of course he sticks me in the car right away and takes me to the emergency room where they go, well, you have MS. So this is likely to happen. Okay, great. Yeah, I know that. But is there anything that you can do? They're like, yeah, we could put you on more steroids. I'm like, no, thank you. And I went home. The next day, I woke up to, you remember Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz with the house spinning? The house was spinning, spinning, spinning. I couldn't walk. I had to scream for my husband. My 3.5-year-old came over. Mom, what's wrong? What's wrong? He gets Daddy. The room spun for 2 days straight. So there I was, paralyzed in my arms and in my legs and just laying in bed. And anyone who's in that situation right now knows what that feels like when you're laying in bed and you have to wait for somebody to take you to the bathroom. You have to wait for somebody to feed you. You have to wait for somebody to carry you from chair to chair. Somebody has to pull you up in the morning out of bed or in the middle of the night when you have to go to the bathroom. Then they have to take you there. It is the worst. It is the worst. So you think that's the worst? It had been about a month since I had been laying there paralyzed. Now, of course, I don't even know if I was on disability at the time. I was just out of work. I just wasn't going to work. One day, he has me sitting in the living room, and my 2-year-old daughter, so Julie's 2 at the time. I wrote down everything so I didn't lose the years here. So 2008 now. I started in, okay, so it's 2008, paralyzed in my arms and my legs. And my husband sits me in the chair in the living room and he goes, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven right down the block. I'll be right back. And I'm like, oh, don't leave me with her. She was 2 years old. I'm like, don't leave me with her. What if she needs something? What if she gets up? I can't do it. I can't help her. He goes, Janine, she's not even going to know that I'm gone. She was sitting in front of me on a blanket on the other side, like the chair, the coffee table, and then her. And she was like a Cabbage Patch doll. So I'm like, all right, just hurry up. The 7-Eleven was literally down the block and over 2 blocks. He would have been gone maybe 10 minutes. He wasn't even out of the driveway yet, and she had gotten up. She starts coming over to me to show me a toy, and she trips on the area rug, and she hits her head on the coffee table. And you know that scream, they open their mouth, but no sound comes out because they haven't caught their breath yet. She's screaming, Mama, Mama, please help me, come get me. I couldn't get to her. I was like sliding off of the chair, trying to like wiggle my way off of her. The tears were running down my face. I'm like, I'm coming, sweetie, I'm coming. So she's trying to make her way over to me. I'm trying to make my way over to her. She finally gets to me, wraps her arms around my neck, and she just puts her cheek next to mine. And she's like, Mama, please. Like, and all I could think was, she's thinking, why aren't you helping me? How could you not help me? As awful as that moment was, it was the moment that changed everything for me, everything, because something inside of me snapped. I gotta take a break. Let me see who's on. Sally says, always say it's your MS. Always say it's your MS. Explain that, because I always tell people not to take ownership of the MS. I always say, don't say it's your MS, just say it's MS. Don't say it's your symptoms, just say it's symptoms. Explain that, because I'm sure you mean something different. So, all right. So she makes it over to me. She's hugging me. She's crying. We're both crying. And I'm just saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm saying, I'm so sorry that I'm your mother, because I didn't understand why God would give me these 2 beautiful children. It's what I wanted my entire life. I always knew I wanted kids. I always knew I was going to have the boy first. I always knew I was going to have the girl second. And here he is. This is what I thought. God was taking away my ability to take care of these kids. And I didn't understand why. What the actual hell? Like, how? Something inside of me snapped. In that moment, I go, I'm either going to be a mother or I'm going to have MS. I can't do both. I won't do both. And I've waited my entire life for kids. My entire life. I don't have a great family. And I always wanted to create a family. So anyway, husband walks in. He sees the scene. He's like, what the hell happened? I'm like, that's it. I quit. I quit my job. I quit MS. I'm quitting smoking. I'm quitting everything. He's like, okay. Obviously, I couldn't do anything drastic at that moment because I didn't have my arms and my legs. But what I could do was, I remembered reading about nutrition and how people had healed themselves with nutrition. So right away, I stopped eating anything that I thought was an allergen. When I did get some use of my arms and my legs back, and that was about like a month, when I started getting some, he took me over to Barnes & Noble, because he didn't buy books online back then. I went to Barnes & Noble and I found this book called the MS Recovery Diet Book. That was the first book. That was the first book that planted the seed that it could be done, because there was these 2 women who healed themselves with food. And I thought, well, that's insane. No one's ever said anything about food before. I know, people, get skinny by eating, certain foods or not a lot of food, but I never heard of food healing the body. I just, So I thought, all right, well, if these 2 women can do it, I sure as hell can do it. If it can be done, I can do it. So that's what got me started on the path. So right away, what I did was I eliminated everything. It wasn't very detailed, this book, but like I said, it planted the seed. So I eliminated everything that I could think of: the gluten, the dairy, the soy. I didn't do eggs because I didn't know about the eggs. The medical medium was nowhere to be found back then. And I feel like there was one more thing that I always forget. Basically, all I ate was chicken, fish, vegetables, fruit, nuts, seeds, and I drank water. Back then, there was no such thing as a gluten-free cookie or a gluten-free pizza or a dairy-free ice cream. I didn't eat any of that stuff. Yes, I lost a shit ton of weight, but what I noticed right away was that my brain fog was getting less and less. things were coming back. I was starting to feel things again in my arms and my legs. Energy was slowly coming back. So I stayed with this for 3 months, and that's what I did for 3 months. And of course, I quit my job. I quit smoking. I was eating nothing but Jersey Mike subs, Domino's pizza, smoking Marlboro Lights, a pack a day, and drinking Sprite. That's how I lived. That's how I lived up until I started getting healthy, where I quit everything. So of course, I'm going to feel a huge difference. So little by little, things started coming back. I never got full strength or feeling back in my right leg. That didn't come until later. So here I am. I have this intuition. I'm like, all right, I know my body's not attacking itself. I don't know how I know that. And I don't tell anybody that, but I felt like something was inside my body that my immune system was attacking. And I thought, all right, well, what does your immune system attack? A fungus, a virus, or a bacteria? So I treated my body like it had all of those things. And I kept reading about like different things that you can do to heal your body, like the milk thistle tea. I drank probably a gallon of that a day. I kept, well, maybe not a lot though. I drank so much of that. I did crazy like vitamin C flushes, colonics, anything that I could go and do that didn't cost a lot of money, because I quit my job, and those were the medical benefits that we had. So we didn't have those. And I couldn't afford a functional medicine doctor at the time. So I did this all by myself. Now, fast forward a couple years, I'm still walking. I still have feeling, but the symptoms that I still have were my right leg was still numb. I still had the brain fog, the dizziness that came at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. At least I can walk. It might be slow. I might be holding onto walls, but at least I can walk. I'm seeing some progress. And this was 3 years later. So then 3 years later, 2011, I go to Whole Foods, because, that's where you shop when you want to heal yourself, because it's got all the good food. I came home from Whole Foods, right? I took the 2 kids. It was like a big deal. I finally I was able to get out with 2 kids, go food shopping, come home. Like that was my outing for the day. That was my energy for the day. I came home to a note from my husband at the time, and he said, I'm sorry, I can't do this life with you anymore. The house is I haven't told anybody this yet. The house is in foreclosure. You have 3 months left on your car. And I'm sorry, but I had to clean out the bank account because I needed to furnish my new apartment. So I had a choice right there. I'm like, all right, I can let this take me down, or I can go, oh, fuck no, sorry. Oh, hell no. I'm not letting this take me down. I have come too far to let this take me down. So of course I called him right away, and he didn't answer. I finally got in touch with him. He's like, listen, I'm sorry. I'm like, did you really do this? He's like, yeah, go look at the closet. Everything was cleaned out. Everything was cleaned out. I'm like, how? Make a long story short, I threatened his life. He eventually came around 3 months later after he disappeared for 3 months. What did I do? I gave myself a choice. I'm like, well, you're either going down and getting more symptoms, and if that happens, who's going to take care of your kids? You didn't have any support. Or you're going to figure out a way. Now, mind you, I didn't have a job. I was barely walking again, barely had the energy to survive the day. And here I have absolutely no husband, because he's MIA now. I didn't know where he was. And neither did the government, because they went looking for him too for the child support. And so I put price tags on everything around me. Me and the kids made a game of it. I put price tags on everything because he cleaned out the account. And I just went to Whole Foods. I just spent like $300. So I had garage sale after garage sale, and that's how I kept the lights on. I would open up the garage. He had a bunch of tools in there. He didn't take those. And every time a couple came, I would talk to the husband. I say, go in that garage, anything you want in there, $20, anything you want. Because one of those Fridays, either the next Friday or the Friday after that, the utility company, it was the heat. They said, listen, you need to give us, I think it was like $300 by Monday. I'm like, it's Friday. They're like, well, we're gonna have to shut it off. I'm like, no, you can't. Oh, my electricity, because it was the summer. He left in March, so it wasn't bad if they shut off the heat. It was the electricity. I go, you can't shut that off. I have 2 small children. And they go, oh yeah, no, we don't do that anymore. That's not the law anymore. We can shut you off. You have to give us $300 by Monday. And I thought, oh my God, what the fuck am I gonna do? So sold everything, had that goddamn garage sale. Not only did I make enough to give them the $300 that Monday, I wired it over, but I also had enough to go food shopping. And I lived like that. And I took little jobs and I thought, this isn't going to take me down. So eventually the government found him. He started taking the kids on a regular basis. But in the meantime, what I would do is I would have them in their pajamas by dinner time, by like 4 or 5 o'clock, because I knew I was like all systems down once 4 or 5 o'clock came. There were a few times where I would fall asleep on the couch and I had these 2 little kids roaming the house by themselves. Thank God nothing happened. My point is, when you're in a situation that's sink or swim, you can't afford to cheat. I knew what it felt like to gluttenize myself. That's my own word. When you accidentally eat gluten, I knew what that felt like. And I knew that I couldn't do that. I couldn't afford to do that because who would take care of my kids? Here I was in this house with absolutely no support and very little money. So I kept going with my food. I kept making sure that I was building up my antioxidants because I knew the only thing that I had going for me was my immune system. So I wanted to keep that as strong as possible. So if you're seeing how this is all coming together, the starve, kill, and detox process, this is how it all evolved over the 10 years. So husband leaves 2011. I eventually get jobs, waitressing, child support. Though that took a while and it wasn't much. That's a whole nother video. And then I got a job and I was able to refinance the house in my name and save the house. So everything was good. Everything worked out, but I worked my ass off. And then in 2015, and forget dating. Oh my God, forget dating. I was like, I don't have time for this. So I was just dead set on being alone for the rest of my life. And I was fine with that. I mean, I never had a good experience anyway with men. So here we fast forward now, 2015. Okay. 2015 is when Anthony Williams released his first book. And I almost fell over when I started reading that. Somebody said, forget who it was, but somebody's like, there's this book, Medical Medium, and they mention MS in it. When I read it, he was like taking my words and putting them on paper. He goes, MS is a virus. Your body's not attacking itself. That's ridiculous. Your body can't attack itself. That's not how it was designed. Your body's attacking a virus. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew my body was not attacking itself. And finally, today, the medical industry is catching up with what Medical Medium, Anthony Williams, has been telling us since 2015. But I wasn't going to take his information like, oh, okay, well, he sounds like me, so he must be right. I'm like, no, I'm going to try it on my own. So that's what I did. Everything that he said to do with the celery juice and the lemon water and the heavy metal detox smoothie, I'm like, all right, I did it. Well, I told you what my symptoms were, right, that I was still dealing with. The numbness in my right leg. Forget toes. I didn't have toes on my right leg, but who needed them? I didn't care. I was walking. I was walking slowly, but at least I was getting from point A to point B by myself, right? No more paralysis, but I had that brain fog and that incredible dizziness that would start about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and stay there. It would just stay there until the next day. It was horrible. The creepy crawlies in the skin. Sorry, he was kicking. I was like, oh, wow, that's a big kick. The creepy crawlies underneath your skin. Like anyone, like who else gets the creepy crawlies and like the itching, the crazy itching? That was always happening. So those were my symptoms that were still, that I was still dealing with every day. And granted, I was really happy that I wasn't paralyzed. At least I wasn't paralyzed. 2015, who just said that? Me. I'm going to look on my phone to see who just said that. Blanca. Yeah. Okay. So you got the itching too. And the creepy crawlies, like that is a virus right underneath the skin. So when he's telling me to do all these crazy things, like drink celery juice, I'm like, celery juice? That's what's going to heal me. Okay, whatever. Cause he really did sound like me with the immune system, not attacking it can't attack itself. So I did it. And within a year, all of my symptoms went away. Every single one. My pinky toe on my right foot, which I thought I would never get back, completely gone. That is how I came up with the starve, kill, detox. You have to starve the virus by not feeding it its food, its gluten, its dairy, its eggs. That was new to me. I never did eggs. I never eliminated eggs before because who knew that they fed viruses until Anthony Williams. So you have to starve that virus and then use your immune system to kill it, right? And then detox it out. That is the system that I came up with mostly medical medium information. And then all the stuff that I have learned about doing shit balls to the wall doesn't work. You have to pace yourself. You have to do things in order. And going faster isn't better. It's actually worse. Because, before I go any further, I talked to, excuse me, hold on, I'm fine. I'm just really freaking pregnant. And really, I think I'm just too short for this because there's no room. I feel like it's on my diaphragm. All right. So you can't go too crazy with the healing. You can't take everything that I tell you and do it all every day, overnight. Healing takes place in peaks and valleys, right? So you have a baseline of where you are. And I was hoping, who was I talking to today? Was it Kristen? Shauna. It was Shauna. Is Shauna on here? I don't know if Shauna's watching, but maybe if you're watching later, Shauna, we were just on the phone so you couldn't see me, but this is what I was trying to explain. Your baseline, let's say, is here, right? Health, energy, your baseline is here. When you start doing stuff in my protocol, the starve, the kill, the detox, it takes a lot out of you. Healing takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of resources. So your baseline is here, and as you get started on this protocol, your energy does go down and your symptoms do get worse. I'm not going to lie to you. They're going to get worse as you get better. So the energy goes down, and then only you can say when that's enough, when you're like, all right, I'm too tired. This is enough. I'm going to stop. And then you stop it for maybe a couple of days until that energy starts coming back up to your baseline. And every time it comes back up to your baseline, it actually goes a little bit higher. Your baseline is now raised higher than it was when you first started. That's when you start again. And then you start doing the protocol again, the lemon water and the celery juice. And you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to stop here. And then you allow yourself to heal, right? Couple days, maybe a week if you need it. Everyone's different. And then your baseline is here. This is the valley. This is the peak. Eventually, the valleys don't get as low and the peaks get even higher. So if you were to plot the peaks on a graph, like if you were to draw out your peaks and valley and draw a dot on top of each peak, they would go up. It would be a straight line up. But as you're going through it, as you're healing, you're up and down, eventually getting better and better and better. So that's why you can't expect to start this or really anything and start feeling amazing. You might feel amazing, but then as you heal even deeper on each layer, your energy is going to go down and then it's going to go back up. So that's why when we get started on this protocol, yeah, it is a lot worse. Your symptoms do get worse, not for everybody, but for most people. So, all right, where was I? Medical Medium 2015 brings out his book. Now, for me, how did I get into this coaching from there, right? So I'm like, all right, it's been a year. I have healed myself. How do I now get this information out? Because what do I always say to you guys? If you find something that works for you, pass it on. People need to know that they don't have to be sick. Only we can end the suffering, because until they started talking in the medical industry, I feel like it's been a week and a half, where Matt Embry is all over now with these videos going, Epstein-Barr is the cause of MS. We're all like, yeah, it is. We have to spread that word. Thankfully, he has a much larger audience and he's spreading the word too. When you find something that works for you, that ended your suffering, and you see somebody else who's suffering just like you, you have to pass this information on. And that's exactly how I felt. But what the hell was I going to say to people? Because I didn't actually know what was working or if it was working. I knew the medical medium, but what was I going to say? This guy who talks to the spirit of compassion wrote a book and he told me how to heal myself, and now I'm healed. Like, who's going to listen to that? But that's exactly, I was honest with people. I scoured Facebook and I reached out to a bunch of people and I said, hey, listen, I healed myself and this is how I did it. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to help other people, but I kind of have to test it out on people first. Are you willing to do this with me? And out of everybody that I talked to, they were all so grateful and they all listened to me, but only a few were like, yeah, let's do it. So the two people who did do it aren't 100% healed yet, but they're staying consistent and they're light years ahead of where they were when they first met me. So light years ahead. So that's what gave me the confidence to go, I think I got this. The reason why I doubted it so much, I got to be honest, is because remember the situation that I was in. My husband leaving, and I was like, no one to take care of my kids. So I had to heal. So I felt like I was the kind of person where I was in a sink or swim situation and I had no choice. I had to heal. That was my mindset. That's it. I can't do this MS thing. I have to heal. And I'm also the kind of person who, if I believe in something, it's going to work. So like if you gave me, I always say, like, if you gave me a sugar pill and told me that I would grow a second nose from it, and it was just a sugar pill, it's a placebo, I would be the person walking around with two noses because I willed it to happen. And I was like, well, did I just will this healing to happen, or does it really work? And so those two people proved to me that, yeah, it really does work. So then I started taking one-on-one clients, and then I started charging. And I always only was doing it nights and weekends because I was still working my accounting job because I had to pay the bills. Now I skipped over the whole thing in 2018 when I met the love of my life. Remember when I said I wasn't dating and I didn't want to date ever because I just did not want to. I was completely turned off by men. Not that I was turned on by women, but I was just turned off by the fact that after what happened to me with my ex, I was done. But then I met Kevin, the love of my life, and now I'm pregnant. And married. So when I was with him and working my accounting job, I was like, all right, now's the time. And I started coaching people on nights and weekends. And eventually it started taking up all of my nights and weekends. And I said, all right, now it's time to really dive into this business. And that's when I dove into Minding Your Soul. I created a group on Facebook, the group that you're in right now, called Minding Your Soul. And I just started putting all the information out there because it's not my information. All the information that I found that have healed me, that's part of my program, I found online. That nothing is mine specifically. So it's not, I don't want to hold on to anything. And plus, I want people who want to heal to be able to heal for free. Yes, I offer the coaching, but I offer the coaching for those people who are like, listen, I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. I don't want to watch 15 hours of your videos to figure out like the process to do it in. So for people who want that accelerated healing in a ABC 1, 2, 3 format, yes, coaching is available. But I wanted to tell you in the description of this event, I said I'm going to tell you about all the free resources in this group. I want you to know, especially now that I'm going out on maternity leave and we'll probably be a little bit more quiet in the group. I don't know. We'll see again how it goes. All the information in my program is in the events. It's in the videos. All of that information you can piece together and you can heal yourself. It's all about starving, killing, and detoxing the virus out of your body. I want everybody to know that everyone who does this protocol, every single person that does this protocol sees an improvement. And when they stay consistent, they keep improving. Why? Because it's not magic. It's just science. It's how the body works. It is how your body works. You're just giving your body what it needs to do, what its God-given right was to do, was to heal and live and thrive and reproduce. So I want you to be aware that none of the stuff in my program, in any of the coaching, is anything other than what God intended us to do, is eat good food, heal our bodies. So the analogy that I like to use is, you have a really good carpenter, right? That you want to build your house, and he is the best. You've seen the houses that he's built. He is amazing, right? And the price is really good. So you're like, listen, want you to build me the house. Here are the plans. I got it all together for you. But the thing is, I need you to use any tools, like no hammer, no nails, no wood, but I need you to build me the house. He's going to look at you like you're crazy. Like, how do you expect me to do that? That's what we're asking of our bodies. We're saying we want you to be healthy. We need a ton of energy. We want you to procreate and reproduce, right? But we want you to do it without any of the tools that you need. None of the antioxidants, none of the good food, none of the minerals. I just want you to do it. Your body looks at you and goes, are you fucking nuts? Excuse my language, sorry. Are you crazy? I can't do that. What my program does is just teaches you what we should have been taught in school, how to fuel your body, how to kill a virus. Now, Matt Embry is great. He's putting him and his dad are putting all of this money into the research for a vaccine for Epstein-Barr. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that, because I'm glad they're doing something. I'm glad something is being done to recognize that MS is just a virus that absolutely can be killed. But you have to know what you're dealing with. When you're looking to kill a virus, you got to know where the virus is coming from. There are 4 stages of the Epstein-Barr virus. 4 stages. Only stage 2, when it's in your bloodstream, can it be detected. After that, it runs for an organ. Whatever organ it resides in is going to determine what symptoms you have, and that's going to determine what diagnosis you get. So for people like us who got diagnosed with MS, our Epstein-Barr made a run for the spleen and the liver. That's where it is. That's where it loves to be. And that's what's causing our symptoms. For the people whose EBV made a run for their thyroid, they have a completely different set of symptoms. That's why their disease is called Hashimoto's, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism. If it made a run for the intestines, right, and it loves the intestines, right, and it's being well fed there, a less aggressive strain of the virus is going to cause you to get an IBS diagnosis. A more aggressive strain is going to cause you to get a Crohn's disease diagnosis. It all depends. Every single autoimmune disease is caused by the Epstein-Barr virus. And if you think about it, they don't understand all of these autoimmune diseases. They're saying that the immune system is automatically attacking. Okay, that's insane. Your immune system is attacking something that science can't see yet. And the proof is their theory behind, or their reasoning, I should say, behind why they created the medicines that they created. So when you're taking something like Ocrevus, right, those injections that kill the body's ability to make antibodies, the reason why they do that is because they found a correlation years ago. People with MS or any autoimmune disease have very high levels of antibodies, and they don't know why. They have no idea why. But they see the correlation between autoimmune disease and antibodies. So they go, well, maybe their body is just producing antibodies incorrectly. That's weird. We don't know why their body is producing these antibodies. So we're going to stop the body from producing antibodies. So these medicines, these injections like beta serum, they kill the body's ability to make antibodies. You need those antibodies to kill the virus. You can't kill the virus without the antibodies. So I understand the medical industry is trying their best to combat what they don't know. Now, do they know? Do they not know? I don't know. I don't have the time or the energy to go into conspiracy theories. I don't really even care, because I don't have the energy, the time, or the resources to do anything about what the medical industry is doing. All I can do is control my little world and the people in my little world. And in my little world, I was able to fix all of the MS symptoms, and I'm able to heal the people in my little world, give them the information so that they can do the same thing. And my hope is when those people heal, they're going to do the same thing and spread it. And we're going to be the next virus, and we're going to spread this information. So going back to Embry and the vaccine, I don't know if that's the right idea, because I don't know exactly how the vaccine works. Does it go through and reach all of your organs and kill the virus there, or is it just in your blood? I don't know enough about it. All I know is that we need to not be feeding the virus. So it's the most contagious virus. There's 65 different strains of it. And just like the flu, and now just like COVID, there's always going to be more strains of it. We always need to be, what's that word? Cognizant of what we're putting inside of our bodies. Are we feeding the virus? So now that we have this information, how the body can heal, the one thing that I want to cover before we start closing up, because I know I've been talking for 45 minutes. I'm sorry. I just kind of wrapped this up into I couldn't figure out how to put this in multiple parts. So I figured I would just do it all in one part. But I wanted to address, when people ask me, well, Janine, I have permanent damage. The doctor says, I have scars and lesions on my spinal column that are never going to heal. So my paralyzed or numb leg is never going to get better. And I try not to say bullshit, but I say it in a very nice way because I want you to understand something that they don't teach us. Everybody has lesions on their brain and on their spine. Everything shows up as a mark on those MRIs, but it's the people with the MS symptoms that they're like, oh, look, lesions. Okay, that makes sense. Everybody has lesions on their brain. Now, why do I say if you have lesions and your signal is getting stopped, interrupted by that lesion, which is causing the paralysis in like your leg, your arm, or whatever? Why do I say that you can heal? Let's bring it back. When I was first getting healthy and my legs were coming back, anytime that I got sick, forget the flu, anytime that I got sick, I would lose my legs. I wouldn't be able to use them because my body was too tired to make the detour. What detour? The signal that leaves your brain and goes to your, all the way down to your toes, your arms, whatever, you're not wireless. Your brain sends a signal down the wires to your extremities, to your organs. So the reason why we're able to move is because the signals got to where they were going. The reason why our organs work is because the signal was able to get to where it was going. So we think that when the signal is interrupted by a scar on our myelin, right? They use the scary word lesion. It's a scar. That's all it is. When it gets interrupted, we think, oh, well, it's interrupted. It's not I'm going to have to live like this now. No. When your body is healthy enough, your body goes, shit, I got a traffic jam. All right, let's take plan B. And it makes a detour around the scar and it keeps going. But your body has to have enough energy and has to be healthy enough to make that detour. And if your immune system is fighting a virus 24/7 that you keep feeding, you are never going to have the energy to make that detour. And eventually that detour made enough times becomes the primary route, which is why when I get sick now, I could get the flu, I can get whatever, I never lose my legs because that detour has become the primary route. Back when I was just starting to get healthy and my body was just starting to make the detour, anytime that I got sick, anytime that I got really tired, especially when I had the flu, forget it, when I had the flu, I didn't have my legs for a week because it would hit the scar and I'd be like, no, I'm too tired. I am not making that detour. And it would stop. And then I would be paralyzed again in my legs. So that is why, look at the MS, the MS gym. He talks about that all the time. The different connections that your body can make. There is no reason, unless your nerves are severed for some reason, you were in an accident. If nothing is severed, there's plan A, there's plan B, there's route 2, route 3, route 4. And your body is going to, everyone says, well, does that mean that the myelin has healed and there's no longer a scar? Your body is always going to make the most efficient, is always going to do things in the most efficient way. All right. So picture you just hit traffic. You're on your way home from work and you just hit traffic and you come to a stop and you're like, shit, the hell am I going to do here? There's an exit right over there, right? You can take the exit and take a detour around the traffic jam to get yourself home, or you can build a bridge. You can build a bridge, or you can get out of your car and you can go help the accident. You can help clear it off. That's what your body does. Those are the decisions that your body has to make. So when it hits the scar, hold on. This kid is pushing out so hard. Hold on. Okay. So when your body hits that scar, it has a decision to make. Am I going to go around it? Am I going to heal it? Am I going to go over it? It takes the most efficient course. So if it can make a detour around the scar and keep going, that's what it's going to do. If it doesn't have to heal the myelin because it takes so much energy and resources like minerals and vitamins to heal myelin, it's not going to if it doesn't have to. That's why people can be completely healed, like myself, and probably still have lesions. And I say probably for me because I don't know, I'm never going to get another MRI again. Why would I get an MRI? Why would I do that? I'm not going to go on the medication and they're going to say, oh, wow, well, you don't have any symptoms now. I'm going to be like, yeah, it's been over 10 years. I still don't have any symptoms and neither do my clients. So that is the reason why you can absolutely heal no matter where you are today. However, there is a disclaimer. Being on the medication is completely different. Your body needs the ability to make antibodies in order to fight this virus. And if you're on a medication that is preventing your body from making the antibodies, then it's going to be that much more complicated or impossible, I don't know, to heal. I don't know enough. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not licensed in any way whatsoever. And the disclaimer is, don't listen to anything that I have to say because I'm not licensed or certified. But I just want you to know, I'm not giving you advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what my experience is, because that's all I can legally tell you is what my experience is. I have found through working with myself and other clients that the ones who are on medication, they heal to a point. They hit a plateau and then they never go any further. It's once they're off their medication, yes, symptoms are going to get worse before they get better every single time, but they eventually get better and they eventually hit that tipping point and they heal. So again, not telling you to get off of medication because I can't. That's not what I do. Oh, I forgot to mention, when I got off the beta seron, I did a cold turkey. When I said I quit my job, I quit smoking, I'm done. I also quit the medication and I did a cold turkey, and I don't recommend that to anybody because it was scary shit. And I wasn't sure if I was going to survive it. The liquid pain, I called it liquid pain because it would just like flow through my brain. It was really pretty awful. So I don't recommend that. And again, I'm not recommending that you get off your medication. I can't do that legally. Can't do that. All I can do is give you the information for you to make your own decision. Okay. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. So did I say how and why the body can heal? Yes, the detours, right? Get your body healthy enough to heal. Starve, kill, detox. You want to starve the virus. The reason why you want to starve the virus is because, well, first, it's easier to kill. Why though? Because the virus puts out that smoke screen. Remember we talked about like an octopus in the ocean. It shoots out ink so its predators can't see it and it swims away. That's what the virus does. It has like this smoke screen around it, which confuses the shit out of your immune system. So your immune system can't see it. And that has been able to evade your immune system for all of these years. It hides in the organs. It feeds on gluten, dairy, eggs, and heavy metals. We starve the virus. We use our really strong, good immune system with plenty of antibodies to kill it, and then we detox it out. We do this every day through the foods that we eat, and we do it consistently, and we continue to heal and heal and heal. And as we're healing, what are we doing? We are passing this information on to the people who have never heard it before. We're making sure that people with MS or any autoimmune disease knows that they don't have to be sick. There's absolutely so much that you can do to start feeling better right away. So that's the one thing that I didn't cover. All the free resources in this group, in the events tab. Now, I like to use StreamYard, which doesn't allow you to go to the events tab and look at all the previous videos and just click on it and watch it. So they're all on YouTube. Minding Your Soul has its own YouTube channel. So if you go there, you'll have all of the videos and you can just watch them over and over again, take your notes and get started. I'll be doing, I promise you, I'm not promising when, but as soon as this kid sleeps, I'm hoping in April, I'm going to be doing another workshop where I put all of my program in 1 week's workshop where you can get all the information that you want. And that's when I open enrollment to my next 4-month program. And that's going to start, again, this is all, I'm not committing to this. We'll see how it goes after I deliver. And if this kid sleeps, my first one didn't. He was a colicky bastard for the first 19 years of his life. My second one, she slept like probably 6 weeks after she came home from the hospital. So I'm hoping this one does the same thing. So by May, I'm thinking by May is that's when I'm going to open enrollment and we'll do that 4-month program again. So we'll have the accelerated healing. In the meantime, while I'm on maternity leave, I'm calling it maternity leave, I'm still going to be in the group. I just took my group coaching clients that are going through their ongoing support right now. And I teamed up with Matt Rowe. And if you already heard this in the beginning, it's just going to be a repeat of what I said in the beginning of this video, but not everybody was on then. So I finished my spiel and now I'm going to do the announcements. So if you were already on in the beginning and you have to run, don't even worry about it. You can totally do that. But I just want to go over the comments really quick. Oh, Sally. Okay, good. GPs always blame MS if I go to them for help. They say it's your MS that's playing up. I knew you were talking about something like that. Okay. I used to make the joke all the time, Sally, that I can go to the neurologist and with my eyes bleeding. And I'd be like, but doc, my eyes are bleeding. And he'd be like, Oh, well, you have MS. And that's a symptom of MS. Oh, really? Because I have internal bleeding and it's coming out of my pores. Oh yeah, well, you have MS. That's what happens. I totally get it. They blame everything on MS. When really the reason why we're having all of these symptoms is because the medication really prevents our body from fighting anything. So anything that comes up, once you have the MS diagnosis, it's easy for them to just say, oh yeah, well, you have MS, so that's your problem. Oh, they used to drive me crazy. I'm so glad you said that. All right, so Blanca, you were saying that you were on the prednisone. Isn't that awful stuff? It's terrible. I can't do lemon water, but celery juice, yes. Is that okay? All right, the lemon water is super important. Try lime. Are you the one who said that you couldn't do citrus? Send me an email. I'm sorry, I just burped. Sorry. Send me an email on that, telling me why, because the citrus, I believe, is probably killing a bacteria in you, and the dead bacteria is causing a neurological, it's a neurotoxin. So it's causing you some kind of reaction. So if you wouldn't mind, if you want more information, or you want to see if I have more information, I don't know, send me an email, gethealthy@mindingyoursoul.com, gethealthy@mindingyoursoul.com. Tell me the situation, and then I'll see if I know anything about it. Oh, Rhonda, thank you. I love you too. Oh, Shauna, you are watching. I mentioned you earlier. I'm glad you're on. All right, very good. Okay, so more announcements. What do I want to do first? In the file section of the group is the calendar. In that calendar, it's going to show you all the Thursdays in February, what the menu item is. Like tomorrow, I'm making a coffee cake. I wish I would have remembered to bring it down here so I could have shown you. I'm making a gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free coffee cake on the baking demo. It's completely free for the whole month of February. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. And it's not from scratch. Don't worry. It's from a box. You just kind of doctor it up and you make it dairy-free and it's a gluten-free mix, and you make it egg-free. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a really easy, simple way, because honestly, dairy-free shit tastes disgusting. It really does. And I bake with dairy-free sour cream, but I make it taste good. I also cook with bananas instead of eggs. Very interesting. So every Thursday in February, it's going to be a free baking demo. Go into, either send me an email at gethealthy@mindingyoursoul.com, and I'll send you the Zoom link, or go into the files section of the group, of the Minding Your Soul group, and click on the calendar. On that calendar, you'll be able to see the menu of every Thursday, and you can click right on that, and it'll take you directly to Zoom. So you're sitting at work, you're sitting, at home, whatever, click on the Zoom. You don't have to give me a heads up. Just pop in, whatever. I'm just going to be in my kitchen. It's nothing fancy. So join me. It'll be fun. So that's Thursday. Also, my group coaching clients, I have just partnered up, I should say, with Matt Rowe. He is going to be taking over my group coaching for the next 8 weeks. He is going to run his 8-week program through my group coaching, and that's going to alleviate me. So this way I can pop in when I want to, and there's less pressure on me, so that I can go into the last final weeks of my pregnancy and deliver and know that my group coaching clients are taken care of. If you wanted to do Matt's program, his program, he already took $200 off of Minding Your Soul members. So his program went from $698 to $498 for us. However, just because of this whole maternity thing, it's a one-time opportunity. I don't think he'll be doing this again. But again, it's a way for us to experience Matt's work, because I think when I roll out my program in May, I'm going to incorporate Matt's work inside of it. So it's going to be a lot more money. But for right now, for the next 8 weeks, starting February 8th, if you sign up for my Victorious group coaching package, that package is only $177 a month. What you're going to get in there, you have to sign up for 2 months, right? Because it's 8 weeks. Sign up for 2 months. You can sign up at any time. You can cancel at any time. So if you don't like it, just cancel it. You're going to get Matt's program. He's going to be running that program through my Victorious group coaching package. You're also going to get Catherine's group clearing on the 4th Sunday of every month. So how do you sign up? Just go to mindingyoursoul.com, hit Victorious, the group coaching, and it'll take you right to where you can pay. Or make a free consultation with me and be like, Janine, what the hell are you talking about? What is this deal? Because it really is a good deal. If I'm not explaining it correctly now, Matt and I just put it together. So I haven't had time to really advertise it. But anyway, you're going to be saving like over $400 by doing it this way. This is going to be the only time that this is being done this way, because once I get back with this kid and he's sleeping, everything's going to return to normal. And I'm going to combine me, Catherine, and Matt Rowe and have one big package for everybody, because healing takes place on all the levels, the mind, the body, and the soul. And I can give you all the information, all the nutritional information that you need to heal yourself. And you're still not going to heal fully, because healing takes place on every single level, the mind, the body, and the soul. So I got the body covered with all of your nutrition information that you need. The soul level is covered by Catherine. She's got you covered there. She's already a part of my program, right? She already does the clearings, which clears the blocks that you might have subconsciously to healing. And now to complete the picture is the mind work. And that's where Matt Rowe comes in, and he'll be working on the mindset. So we really do need to bring things up to our awareness so that we can see what our patterns are, what our behaviors are. Because when when you say, I know better, I don't know why I do this shit, but I find myself always doing this shit. It's usually because something needs to be brought up to your awareness. And when your conscious mind isn't aligned with your actions, then you know you've got a subconscious program running, right? And a lot of times, if you just bring it up to your awareness, you're able to work on the actions. So again, healing has to take place on all the different levels. If you want to experience Matt Rowe's program at a $418 savings, sign up for my Victorious package. It's $177 a month. You get Catherine Rose's 2 clearings, 1 a month, and you get Matt Rowe every Tuesday for 8 weeks. So it starts next Tuesday on the 8th, and it runs all 5 Tuesdays in March. That gives me time to give birth, get the kids sleeping, and then we're back on track for April, where I'll do a workshop and open enrollment for May for the 4-month program. All right, that was a lot of words. All right, Sabrina Cherry, I see that you just signed on. Hello, thank you for watching. Suzanne, hello, just joined, taking care of my husband. He comes home from rehab yesterday. Oh, congratulations, after his stroke. Plus getting hit by the freaking blizzard. How many feet did you get? I got 2 feet of snow. And this was the first time I couldn't shovel. So my kids did it, and my husband. It was pretty awesome. Elizabeth, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right. Anybody who's watching, there is going to be a recording. And if I have your email address, I'll send this out to you, because I know I just vomited so much information all over you. You're going to need to take some notes. Go into the events section, go to the YouTube channel, and I will email everyone whose email address that I have. If I don't have your email address, send me an email, gethealthy@mindingyoursoul.com, and I will add you to the list. And I had to address this the other day. Don't worry about me selling your email address to people, because 1, no one's asked me for my email list. Okay. And even if they did, I wouldn't give it to them, because I hate spam. I'm constantly unsubscribing to things that I'm getting emails for that I didn't want. So I would never sell your email address. And again, no one's asking for it. So I'm not really that high tech. So if you want this recording, and if you want the recordings of other ones that I do, send me an email. gethealthy@mindingyoursoul.com. I'll put you on the list. And I try to do this every week, where I tell you what the upcoming Live at 5 topic is going to be. And then I tell you, and here was last week's recording. And you can watch it there, or just subscribe to the Minding Your Soul YouTube channel. Okay. I think I just covered everything that I wanted to cover. Oh, hey, Jackie. I just saw that you signed on. And Shauna, thank you. Caught this late, so would love an email. Yeah. Because I mentioned you earlier. I forgot why, because I just talked about so much. But I did mention you earlier. So I'm glad you're on, and I have your email address, and you're on the list. So you'll be getting this. All right, guys. Any questions, post it on the thread. I will see you as much as possible, as much as I can. I'm going to keep up my Wednesday live at 5s unless I'm giving birth in the hospital. They might not be this long and lengthy, but again, I'm trying to throw all this information into you now so that you have it all to hold you over, so that if I am quiet in March, you have all the tools that you need to start healing right away. And if you're already healing, like the emails and the messages that I'm getting, if you're already healing, please pass that on to other people. Let them know that it's possible. We need to talk about this more often. All right, this was the Wednesday Live at 5. I am Janine Troutman, and I just want to thank you so much for being a part of it, and for passing on the information, and for just being as kind as you all are. The group is amazing. There's not one victim in this group. You're all supportive, and everyone's cheerleading and making sure that everyone feels uplifted. It's like we're all running a marathon, right? And we look over and there's someone on the ground and we're like, oh, you need help? Come here. Let me take you by the hand and come with us, and we'll carry you until you got it on your own. So it's a great feeling. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of Minding Your Soul. This entire group is absolutely amazing, and I love it. And I love all of you. So thank you very much. And I will see you, if I don't see you before, if I don't see you tomorrow, tomorrow's the baking demo. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you next Wednesday. But join me on Zoom tomorrow. It's fun. All right. I got to eat. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.